Where did you grow up?
Well, there's a few places I grew up, mainly in Belzona and Greenwood. I grew up in the Delta.
Tell us about your family.
I'm going to start with my external family here. My dad is from the Delta. He was born in the 1940s. My mother is from outside of Jackson. I have 2 older brothers. I'm the baby, the only girl. So I'm a little spoiled. And I also have a husband. His name's Carl, and a son who's named Hunter. Hunter's 20.
Tell us about your years in high school.
Well, my years in high school, I was a big band person. I was in the color guard in band, so I loved to spin a flag. I loved to spin a rifle. Never really did get too much into spinning a saber, but I had loads of fun. I wasn't a great academic student because I was all up into band.
What was a pivotal moment in your teenage years?
I think the most pivotal point of my teenage years was starting high school. I didn't know anybody there. I learned very quickly who to kind of hang around and who not to hang around. I didn't learn that lesson about doing the best academically, but it taught me a lot about just facing your fears and getting over them.
What's the funniest thing you can think of that happened to you in high school?
So we had a door knocking campaign when I was in high school called One Nation Under God. And we were down in one of the R suburbs outside of Jackson, like Ridgeland maybe. And we had finished our morning of door knocking and everything. And I jumped up on the counter. And when I got ready to jump off the counter, I kind of got stuck to it. And I fell flat on my back. And everybody's laughing. That was pretty embarrassing.
Tell us a little bit about your college experience.
So when I got right out of high school, I went to Delta State and didn't do very well there. So I went home and got a job. I went to cosmetology school, got my license in cosmetology. Didn't really like that. So when I was 30, how old was I? When I was 30 years old, I went back to Northwest and got my associates in education, and then went to Ole Miss and got my bachelor's in elementary education. I had loads of fun. I did a lot of things, and I think I appreciated it more the older I was, and I took it way more seriously.
How did you choose the college to attend?
My mother graduated from Delta State. Well, let me back up. I was from the Delta, and I wanted to go back to the Delta. So I chose Delta State. Plus, my mother had graduated from there. They had a great music program. I majored in music education. And I mean, that's all that went into I wanted to come home to the Delta. We had just moved to South Haven at that point.
How did you choose your profession? Did you originally plan on being a teacher?
I went to, okay, so this is another Delta place I'm from. I'm sorry. I'm from, we lived in Leland for about a year, Leland, Mississippi. My mother was a teacher assistant at the public school there, and I went to, I think it was called Leland Middle School at that point. And I would ride the bus from the middle school to the elementary school, and my mother was a teacher assistant for the second grade teacher. And I know I'm really old, but they had blackboards that you used chalk on, and the teacher would leave her stuff up all day. So I would go in there when I came to my mom's school, and I would go and teach the class. And my mother had been telling me since I was in second grade that I needed to be a teacher. And I'm just so great at listening. I did it right away. No, I didn't do it right away. It took me a while, but she was right.
What's something outside of school that you're passionate about?
Okay, what I'm passionate about. I love to read. I love to sing. I like to trout fish. We do that every summer. We go on a trip. And I like to write.
Tell us something that you've always dreamed about doing. Something on your bucket list.
I want to go to Ireland, Scotland, and England, because that's where my ancestors are from. We're Irish Scots, so I would like to go and view all of that history. I'm a big history buff.
What's something that students may not know about you?
Well, a few years ago, and I'm just too scared to get it published, but I have written a full-length novel and have ideas for several more.
What's something you love about this school?
One of the things that I love most about Horn Lake High School is the culture here. There is such a supportive culture, especially between the students with each other, and I love to see that. It was the same at the high school that I went to in Greenwood. We all just kind of look out for each other, and I love, me personally, I love the relationships that I have with most of my students.